Hey everybody, this is Dream, and today we have a nice little NBA slate here. Before I get started, you guys smash that like and subscribe button. So we have a lot of different ways we can make lineups today because of this pretty small slate here. But I do think this is going to be a pretty good slate for fantasy, and so I definitely like it from that perspective. Let's go ahead and look at it though. We do have some injuries on this first slate, so to keep that in mind, we have let's see, Boston has Porzingis out. That benefits Horford and Tillman. This also for the Lakers, where Wood and Vanderbilt is out, and that benefits Hakimura and Davis. And then for the Knicks, Robinson and Achua are out, and that benefits Towns and Sims. So to keep that in mind here, let's go ahead and look at our point guards. So our top three guys that we like the most is Jalen Brunson, Derek White, and Drew Holiday. I think all three guys have a lot of potential today, though I do think White and Holiday are probably better options just because they're cheaper than Brunson. But Brunson does look like the best overall play at the position. But if we do look at the ownership at this position, Derek White, Jalen Brunson, Austin Reeves, and Miles McBride will all have pretty high ownership. Now, Miles McBride is a sub $4,000 play, and he's probably the safest of the sub 4,000 plays, but I don't really like any of those guys today for the most part. So I think we probably avoid the sub 4,000 guys. But you don't need to pay up for a bunch of super expensive options today either. There's plenty of mid range value on the slate, so it's definitely good from that perspective. Looking at our shooting guards, Derek White for Boston, who can also play obviously a point guard, and then Anthony Edwards and Jalen Brown. Those are our top three plays here. Now, Anthony Edwards is definitely somebody I like against the Lakers, who do tend to struggle playing defense. I expect him to come out and have a big game here. He's got a fantastic matchup. He's definitely worth a look here. He is pretty expensive though, but he is one of the more expensive plays on the slate that I like outside of Jason Tatum. So to keep that in mind, looking at our ownership at the shooting guard position, we're going to get a lot of ownership to Miles McBride, Derek White, and Austin Reeves. I think Austin Reeves is kind of a sneaky play today at $6,000, so he's definitely worth a look there. Looking at small forwards, sorry about that. Looking at small forwards, Jason Tatum and LeBron James are going to be the top two. I do think LeBron is a guy I don't typically like, and Jason Tatum's price point at $9,000 is really solid. I think he's a great play against the Knicks here. LeBron James, meanwhile, he is priced down a little bit that from what he will be as the season progresses, likely. But as he is getting older, he's going to continue to be an inconsistent option for fantasy. And he's always kind of been an inconsistent guy for fantasy, so I tend to want to avoid him. But he does look decent today in this matchup. Looking at Josh Hart and OG Anunoby, I think you're going to pick one of these two guys to fit in at that small forward or small power forward position or even the F position. I think both those guys have some potential today. I do side with Hart a little bit over Anunoby right now. Just from a pure fantasy perspective, he's got a little bit more upside. But I think both guys have some potential today and definitely look like decent plays on the slate. As for the ownership in the small forwards, we are going to look at Josh Hart, Jason Tatum, LeBron James, and Rui Hachimura. Now, Hachimura does have a little bit of benefit today, so he's definitely worth a look. But he definitely doesn't project quite as well as some of the other options in this price range. Looking at our power forwards, virtually the same here with Jason Tatum, LeBron James, Josh Hart, and OG Anunoby. And if we look at the ownership here, we are going to add in Al Horford and Naz Reid as potential options here. They're going to be mixed in with LeBron, Rui, Jason Tatum, Josh Hart. I do like Al Horford a lot. He's a good sub $6,000 play, and he has some potential here because he's probably going to get more minutes. But I do not know if they're going to give him a ton of minutes in this game, so he's not a must play from that perspective. Looking at our centers, Carl Towns, he is a little bit underpriced today, but he does have a tougher match against Boston, especially if Horford plays a lot. Um, I think he does draw some good potential today. Anthony Davis does project pretty well because of his price point today as well. And then Rudy Gobert is a little bit too cheap for this matchup. I think he's in a fantastic situation, especially with Towns now in New York. Gobert's going to have more potential. Obviously, Randall's now in Minnesota, but he's a little bit different than Towns. And I think that Horford or say Gobert will have some more opportunity here. But both those guys have some potential today. But I'm probably going to avoid Randall until we get an idea of what he's going to do when he's in Minnesota playing with Gobert. Looking at our looking at our ownership at this position, we do like Carl Towns, Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert, and Al Horford, so to keep that in mind. As for the top, our sub 6,000 plays, the top ones, are Josh Hart, Drew Holiday, Austin Reeves, Ogianobi, Naz Reid, and Al Horford, and then Miles McBride being the sub 4,000 play on this slate. Obviously, there's a couple rookies in these games. I mean, we're going to see some potential for a couple of these guys to potentially get some minutes, like Dillingham for Minnesota. Um, Maybe Shannon for Minnesota. I don't know that he's going to get any minutes though. And then Connect for the Lakers might have some potential today as kind of high risk, high reward. I don't expect Bronny James to get many minutes here. If he does, just for the moment to get him on the court with LeBron at the same time. But other than that, I think that he's probably avoidable. I'm not going to be playing any of the rookies until we get some better information about what kind of minutes they're going to get. But there is a strategy that you could employ to put a couple of those guys in a lineup to see what happens because they could end up being a breaking kind of slate type of thing. So with that said, guys, thank you for liking, commenting,